You're a good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am.
See, I find it kind of hard to picture a good father because the image that is captured in my mind is blurred, focused only on the pixels that are not so good. So I guess you could say there's too much exposure due to the exposure I have of a bad father. I figured this disfigured father figure would shape up soon enough, call his bluff and remove the poker face, the facade of tough love, which really wasn't love at all. I mean, I just don't understand how a man made in the image and likeness of you is in fact nothing like you. You created his hands to heal, but all he does is hurt. You created his mouth to speak, and all he does is curse. You created his heart for love, which in reverse is evil, and that just makes this worse. So how do I make this work? Your fifth commandment says to honor thy father and thy mother. But I find myself only able to obey half that statement because the other half is signed, sealed, and delivered with hatred for the one who was supposed to get his title from you, Father. Take the F out, rearrange the letters, and you can spell heart, the symbol of love. But take out the A and you can pronounce hurt, which is what I can't seem to get rid of. So pardon me if the part in me that was supposed to be there paternally inflicted wounds eternally that marked my heart like a bull's eye. He hit the target every single time. I wonder if the woman at the well had wounds from her father. Because if he couldn't even commit to loving his daughter, then she couldn't commit to even one of her 6 husbands. The more she tried to get away from men like him, the more she gave herself away to men like him. She became victim to a cycle of synonyms of her daddy. Constant reminders reminding her of the man who was physically present but spiritually absent, sent to fetch water from a well where Jesus filled the holes in her heart that her father had dug so well. Well, that's just my theory. But it makes sense, doesn't it? The first man to ever break her heart was her father. So she moved farther and farther away from her father, and farther into the arms of the father. So the more I think about my father, the more I'm reminded about forgiveness. But the more I think about my father, the more I want to forgive less. And I know Matthew 6:15 says, if I don't forgive you, then my father won't forgive me. But before I even forgive you, I have to forgive me. Because I can't keep drinking this poison hoping the other person will die. But why? Why couldn't you be an actual father to me? Why couldn't you set an example for the kind of man that I'd want to marry? Why did you make a sea of empty promises just to watch me drown? I didn't know I had to swim because you never taught me how. But now I have a father who taught me to walk on water. I no longer have to beg for my dad's attention. He sees my needs and plants the seeds of healing without question. I never question him because everything he does is right and just. I just trust him because he does everything in my best interest. He turned my pain into poetry. Every spoken word was already ready. He was just waiting on me to speak. Every slick rhyme and clever metaphor is all of him and none of me. My daddy did what no father ever could. He sent his son to die as proof of his declaration of love for me. And not only for me, but for every single daddy who couldn't take his place. For every daughter whose father left without a trace. For every son that looked like his father in the face but couldn't erase or replace the space his father left in his heart. So I refuse to be labeled as just another girl with daddy issues. Cause yes, it's true. Your position as my father was misused for abuse, and yes, it's true. You left me broken, bitter, and confused, but it's also true, and even more true, that I have a father who loved my brokenness until I was brand new. So no, I will no longer use you or daddy issues as an excuse. I choose to forgive you, not because of what you did, but because of what He did for me. Set an example of what it means to be fatherly, and now I'm free. No longer bound by the chains of pain you had tied to me. I'm free. And all I can do is pray that one day you'll know exactly what that means. Amen.
Oh, good, good Father, it's who you are. It's who you are. It's who